What's up guys? I'm going to talk to you today about ad retargeting, and basically this is something that you can do in order to increase your ROI and have more effective marketing campaigns. So let's get started. For those of you who may not know, retargeting is when you specifically target people with ads who have already visited your website, and so it targets people based on their previous behavior. This is where cookies and tracking on websites becomes important. The cookies that are on your website are looking to find data on what your potential customers were doing on your website. In order to set up retargeting, you need to make sure that you have cookies and pixels set up on your website, and I'll show you how to do that. It does vary depending on what paid ad platform you're using, and so I'm going to show you how to do that individually on each paid ad platform. The reason why people do retargeting ads is because they generate a higher ROI compared to regular ads. Somebody who's already visited your website and browsed through your products is a lot more likely to be interested in making a purchase from you than somebody who has never heard of you or wasn't interested enough to actually click on an ad and go look at your website. Now, there are 5 normal types of ad retargeting, and I say normal retargeting because I look at this in a slightly different way, which I'm going to go through on the next slide, but I want to give you guys the proper information first before I give you my spin on it. The first type of retargeting is cross-channel retargeting, which basically means that if somebody went to your website, then you can remarket them on TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, or even Google, and that's even if that person only looked at your products on Google. And so you can target them on multiple different platforms, which is nice. The second type has to do with email retargeting ads, and this is when you're retargeting people who may not have opened your emails, and so you can actually create campaigns that re-engage them with your business. At this point, we haven't covered email marketing yet, but I'm going to get into that in a later workshop. Dynamic retargeting ads have to do with allowing the software to figure out which ads should be shown to customers. For example, if somebody was browsing a particular shirt on your website, then dynamic retargeting ads would repeatedly show them that specific product that they looked at. The software looks at what that prospect will most likely be interested in seeing, and this is probably one of the main advantages of using Facebook ads in particular. Next, we have Google retargeting ads, which is simply retargeting people on Google's search engine. And finally, we have TikTok retargeting ads, and so these would be specific to retargeting on TikTok. Overall, dynamic and Google remarketing ads are specifically good for people who are marketing products in particular. Typically, people look at retargeting solely as targeting people who have been to your website, and I think that's a narrow perspective of retargeting. Everything I mentioned on the previous slide has to do with retargeting website visitors, but you don't have to only target people who have visited your website. Instead, you can retarget them based on content they've viewed, which works better for cold traffic, or you can even do a hybrid, so let's get into these in more detail. We've already talked about retargeting website visitors in depth. We've talked about the different types of retargeting website visitors, but what I want you to understand is these are typically best for product-based businesses, okay? Something else you can do instead, which tends to perform better for cold traffic, is you can retarget people through content. The idea behind this is you're trying to get them to go from cold traffic to visiting your website or your lead magnet. To give you an example of what this could look like, let's say I wanted to turn this video into a content piece and I wanted to put ad spend behind it. On somebody's feed, all they're seeing is a video of me giving them retargeting information. But at the end of this video, let's say I was like, if you want to learn more about this, then join my workshop. At this point, people who are still watching have not only been given value because I'm teaching them about retargeting, but if somebody watched that full video, they are much more likely to be interested in retargeting and the information that's in the workshop. But I haven't sold them or pitched them on anything yet. All I'm saying is, hey, join this free workshop. So the risk is very low for that person. They've already indicated that they're interested in the topic, and they clearly like me enough to hear me talk about it some more. This is a lot less salesy approach to retargeting. Obviously, if you're targeting people who have visited your website, it's obvious that the company is trying to get you to buy, and for product-based businesses, that's totally fair. But if you are either selling a product or service that requires a high level of trust or investment, educating your customers can help, and you need to prioritize building trust with them first. This usually requires you to slow your sales funnel down a little bit, and very few people are going to buy a high price point item if trust hasn't been established first. So that's why it's important. Finally, you can do what I call a retargeting hybrid. And basically this means you can cut costs and improve conversions by manually retargeting. For example, when I suggested to you if you had a frugal sales funnel that you should pay for an initial ad that directs people to your social media, and then you should welcome them and pitch your offer. This would be an example of a hybrid because you're not relying solely on the software, but you are still paying attention to that person's behavior and knowing that they liked you enough to follow you, so they must have some sort of interest and they already know who you are, right? And this means that they're a better lead to connect with than if you were to pitch your offer to cold traffic. Now I'm going to show you how to actually set up ad retargeting on each platform as I go over the ad platforms themselves. So you can click on the videos below depending on which ad platforms you're interested in running ads on. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video. Make sure you hit the like and subscribe button. If you're interested in learning how to retarget on individual platforms, I suggest you join my free workshop where I actually go through how to set up retargeting on various different social media platforms like Google, TikTok, Facebook, Instagram, and a whole bunch of different ones. So if you're interested in a little bit more in-depth information, please sign up. Until then, I will see you next Sunday. Bye.